The Doctor is at the vault, still blind, when his sonic sunglasses that are acting as a form of radar pick up an incoming email called Extremis. The scene then cuts to the Doctor in the lecture hall when members of the Vatican, including the Pope, arrive and ask for his help in reading a manuscript entitled Veritas. Supposedly everyone who reads it then kills themselves. Cutting to Bill coming home with a date, things go wrong when the Pope suddenly walks out of her bedroom. The date leaves and Bill goes to have words with the Doctor, and together with Nardole and the Pope they head to the Vatican archives to look at Veritas. They find a priest in the cage that holds the manuscript. He apologises and then runs off holding a gun but leaving his laptop behind. They realise he has read Veritas and emailed it to others all over the world. They hear a gunshot and the Doctor tells Bill and Nardole to go and investigate, promising not to read Veritas about them. They find the priest dead, having shot himself. The Doctor uses some tech to borrow a few minutes from his future to boost his sight so he can read the text, stating that he has no idea what this will do to his future selves, that it might make him blind through other regenerations or even kill him. As he struggles to read the blurry text, he notices red-robed figures approaching. Finally his eyesight clears up enough to see that in fact these are zombified monks, and he manages to escape with the laptop. Meanwhile, Bill and Nardole find a portal and upon walking through it find themselves in a circular room with strange blocks in the middle and other portals leading from the chamber. One leads to the Pentagon and one leads to CERN, where they find scientists drinking heavily and about to kill themselves with explosives as they have read the Veritas. Trying to explain why, the lead scientist asks Bill and Nardole to give him random numbers when he bangs the table. Time after time they give him exactly the same number as do all the other scientists. Bill and Nardole escape before the explosion, but Nardole says he has figured it out, that everything beyond the portals is a projection, like the holodeck on the Enterprise in Star Trek. Trying to prove the point, he steps out of line of sight of the projectors and vanishes. Bill finds a trail of blood and follows it through another portal into the Oval Office in the White House, where she finds the Doctor. He has listened to the text of the Veritas by now and tells Bill that Nardole was right, that everything, including themselves, is a projection, a creation of an alien race intent on invading Earth. They have created this fake Earth to practice the invasion over and over until they are sure of success. Bill then disappears, the same as Nardole, and a red monk arrives telling the Doctor there is nothing he can do as he is just a creation. The Doctor says that he will do what everyone on Earth does when an invasion threatens: call the Doctor. He presses the side of his glasses, explaining that he has been recording all of this and is uploading it to the real Doctor so he can stop the aliens' attack. Back at the vault where we first saw him, the Doctor finishes watching the upload and turns to the vault doors. He tells Missy, who we now know is on the other side, that he is blind and he will need her help to stop what's to come. Throughout the episode, we keep flashing back to a planet and a scene where Missy is about to be executed, and that the sentence has to be carried out by another Time Lord. As the Doctor is the only other one in existence right now, he has been summoned to throw the switch, and once Missy is dead, he has to vow to watch over the body which will be entombed in the vault for 1,000 years, in case of relapse. Nardole turns up disguised as a monk and shows the Doctor River Song's diary, and that she ordered him to make sure the Doctor didn't do anything bad after her death. Going back to Missy, he throws the switch, but only stuns her, saying he had messed with the wiring of the execution device. The keeper of the Fatality Index tells the Doctor he will die for this, and the Doctor simply asks him to see how many fatalities are listed under his name. As the list scrolls on and on and on, the guards run for their lives, leaving the Doctor and Nardole to carry Miss's body to the vault. Okay, so this is episode 6 of season 10 of Doctor Who, Extremis, and things are starting to pick up. It's another Stephen Moffat script, an episode written by him, and it feels like it. There are again touches of stories he's told many times before in the past of Doctor Who. He seems to have this thing for monks. Do you remember the headless monks from A Good Man Goes to War? Yeah, I mean, he always seems to go back to his bag of tricks and bring the same tricks out again. So that's a minor niggle. I mean, the red robe monks, I mean, okay, they're not really like the headless monks, but they're monks again. So once again, minor niggle. But as a whole, This story was actually pretty solid. Now, it's the first of a trilogy, I believe. Obviously, it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. There are some good points about this. Nardole, I'm really starting to like Nardole. I'm more and more surprised about this as the series goes on. I really didn't think I'd like Matt Lucas. I've never liked anything he's been in before. I hate him as a comedian. But as Nardole, he's pretty cool. I mean, there's that bit in the library where him and Bill are walking along, and he says that he's the only one authorized to kick the Doctor's butt, and Bill turns to him and goes, "You're a bit of a secret badass, aren't you?" And he goes, "Ain't nothing secret about it, baby cheeks." Actually made me laugh. It's just the way he delivered it, seriously faced, and then obviously in the next second he sort of like screams and gets behind Bill because he finds another portal. But he's really surprised me this season, and I'm really liking the character of Nardole, so that's good. Bill has literally nothing to do in this episode other than wander around behind Nardole or wander around behind the Doctor, which to my mind is good. I don't know whether that's an element of why I like this episode so much, because she's really been annoying me in the other episodes. But in this one, she's there, but she's not in your face. She's sort of like doing the standard companion bit, asking a few questions, doing a little bit here and there, following around, discovering things. And that's what I think a good companion does. A good companion should be smart enough to have a debate with the Doctor on level ground, should be brave enough to want to go into danger if it's the right thing to do, and not be stupid enough that they get themselves into situations that they can't get out of. But I suppose that's the whole damsel in distress companion cliche, isn't it? That they've got to do that. But she doesn't have a lot to do in this episode. But what she does do is fine. It does what she needs to do, and that's fine. Again, they touch on the fact that she's gay as we first see her bringing home a date, and that doesn't go particularly well. But that was handled fine. That was great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Moving forward, there is one little niggling thing. The Doctor is obviously blind for this entire episode. He wears his shades through this entire episode because they're reminiscent to a degree of like Daredevil out of the comic books. Daredevil has this sort of like heightened radar superpower sense that he knows where everything is because it's like a bat. He like pings off things and gives him an idea of where solid objects are around him. The same sort of thing with the Doctor's sonic sunglasses here. It's a bit like the sonic screwdriver, where the sonic screwdriver can pretty much do just about anything. It seems that the sonic sunglasses can do equally just about anything that he wants them to do. But the thing is, he wears them through the entire episode. Now, we saw at the end of the last episode, Oxygen, that Nardole had repaired the damage to his eyes, in that if you looked at his eyes, they looked normal. So the only reason he needs to wear the sunglasses is to obviously get this radar sense. So that's fine, that makes sense. But there are several points during this episode where Nardole's sort of like filling in for him, saying, "Oh yes, the Pope is standing right in front of you." And, "Oh yes, that piece of paper that's right in front of you says Veritas." And things like this. And people are failing to pick up on the fact that he's blind. I mean, even Bill. I mean, I know she's supposed to be asking like the rather obvious, blunt questions. And I've always said that she comes over as a bit of an airhead. But I would have thought after the adventures that she'd been on with the Doctor already this season, she might have picked up on the fact that this guy's not acting 100% kosher here. What's going on? Especially after she knows that he was blind in the last episode. I mean, yeah, okay, Nardole said, "Oh yeah, it's fixed now." But nonetheless, the way he's acting in this one should have given her something to go, "Well, no, there's something wrong here," and ask the question. But she never did. Another problem with this episode, I think, is the basic premise. These aliens have created a holodeck Earth with everyone who's on Earth, everything that's on Earth, so they can practice invading Earth so that when they actually get around to doing it for real, they'll get it right. That's fine. That's a premise that's been used in other films and other TV shows, and yeah, that's firm. That's fine. How do they know the Doctor's an alien? How do they know what the inside of the TARDIS looks like and how it would work? how do they know everyone's faults and what they would do and how they talk and how they act and what they do? I mean, they could take. It's a bit like how the Russians, during the Cold War, created these American towns out in the middle of nowhere in Russia so they could send agents there to practice being sleeper agents before they sent them to America so they blend in. It's the same sort of premise. You know, the aliens are using this holographic thing so they can try to take over the Earth in holographic form before they do it for real, and these creations are just fake, they're just actors. But how would the aliens know all of this information? I just don't understand it. I certainly don't understand how they would know what the inside of the TARDIS looks like, and how the TARDIS would work, and how the sonic sunglasses would work, and how the sonic screwdriver. How would they know all of that? None of that makes sense to me at all. So I suppose that's the one and only major flaw I had with this, as I was watching it, and when the twist came at the end, I was like, yeah, but they really wouldn't know unless they'd questioned, interrogated, or brain wiped, or sucked the knowledge out of all of these people. They wouldn't know any of this just by observation alone. So anyway, Michelle Gomez is back as Missy. That's a good thing. I love Missy, the new Doctor, or the mistress. The new Master or Mistress, Missy. So that's good, and she really does do a good job here when she thinks she's going to die. You know, she's telling the Doctor, "No, I am your friend. I'm perhaps your only friend left, and I've always been your friend." And the Doctor, although he pulls the switch and knocks her out, he's fiddled with it enough that she's not going to die. She's only going to be zapped, but he does put her in the vault. So how that's going to stretch this friendship, we don't know. Is she still going to be evil? Has she been redeemed somehow? I guess we'll find out once he lets her out of the vault. But it's good to see her back. Michelle Gomez knocks it out of the park with her performances. She's not in it very long this episode, but when she is here, she's cool. So overall, I think this is perhaps the best episode this season. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 on my 1 to 10 scale. I'm impressed. Now, hopefully, the other two stories in this trilogy will be just as good. I don't want Stephen Moffat to drop the ball now when he's finally managed to pick the damn thing up for this season. So hopefully, pushing forward, it'll be just as solid, and it'll be a great 3-story long arc that we can enjoy. So there you go. That's my review for my spoiler review for Doctor Who Episode 6, Extremis. Good, liked it. Slight major plot hole with the that you could drive a truck through with the aliens knowing everything about everyone, including the Doctor and the TARDIS. But other than that, a fine episode. Yeah, 8 out of 10. You guys take care, and I'll see you next week for the next review of Doctor Who. See you then.